If your dreams feel out of reach, you're not alone. But guess what? You're in the right place. This is the channel that fuels your ambition, sharpens your mindset, pushes you towards massive success. So, are you in? Are you ready to go all in on success? Then hit subscribe. Let's build the life you've always dreamed of, because here at Go Big or Go Home, there's only one option. And that's winning. Now let's dive into today's lesson, because the sooner you start, the faster you rise. What's up, everybody? You've seen the gurus shouting about the 5 a.m. club where billionaires are supposedly made and productivity is born. But here's the truth. Waking up at 5 a.m. is not the secret to success. In fact, it might be holding you back, and I've watched people burn out chasing this myth, thinking money will magically appear if they just wake up early. Newsflash: success isn't about you wake up, it's about what you do when you're awake. It's about being smart, not just being tired. Today I'm exposing the 5 a.m. myth and revealing what you be doing instead to build real wealth. Forget the pre-dawn suffering. Let's dive into what actually moves the needle and builds empires. Let's get into it. Let's tackle the biggest myth. Early risers are more productive. You hear it everywhere, but let's be real. How many times have you dragged yourself out of bed at an ungodly hour, only to stare blankly at your screen, fueled by caffeine and regret? Productivity isn't about the on-the-clock, it's about your. We all have different internal clocks. Some are larks, some are owls. Forcing an owl to live a lark's life is like making a fish climb a tree. It just doesn't work. You're fighting your own biology, and that's a losing battle. Instead of being a productivity god, you become a productivity ghost, haunting your workspace with half-baked ideas and a desperate need for a nap. The real key? Energy management, not just time management. Find your sharpest, most focused hours and schedule your most important tasks then. I've talked to so many people who tried the 5 a.m. thing. Most spent the first hours in a fog, making mistakes, and by the afternoon, they were too exhausted to do real work. It's a recipe for burnout, not success. Think of your energy like a phone battery. If you drain it at 5 a.m., you'll be running on fumes by midday. Maybe your genius hour is 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or even 10 p.m. Who cares? Use it. The early bird gets the worm, not if it's too tired to see the worm. Stop glorifying a specific time slot. Glorify genuine output and effectiveness. Productivity is personal, not prescribed. True productivity comes from understanding your rhythms and energy. Work smarter, not just earlier. If you're a zombie before 9 a.m., give yourself a break. You're not lazy, you're just not a morning person. The hustle culture confuses activity with achievement. Being busy at 5 a.m. doesn't mean you're productive. Focus on impactful tasks during your optimal cognitive periods. Would you want a sleep-deprived surgeon operating on you at 7 a.m.? Didn't think so. Bring your best self to your most important tasks, when your brain and body are ready. The real secret: manage your energy, not just your time. Forget the zombie shuffle at dawn. Aim for focused, high-energy work sessions. That's the first nail in the coffin of the 5 a.m. myth. We've busted the productivity myth, but what about the idea that successful people wake up early? The 5 a.m. cult loves to cherry-pick a few CEOs and act like it's a universal rule. It's not. Mark Zuckerberg, known to work late into the night. Many creative geniuses were notorious night owls. Their success came from their output, not their wake-up time. Successful people are diverse in their habits. What they share is relentless focus on their goals and leveraging their strengths at their optimal times. Some are early risers, but many thrive by working late, capitalizing on quiet, uninterrupted hours. Forcing a rigid 5 a.m. start can be detrimental, especially for entrepreneurs working across time zones. Flexibility and adaptability are often more valuable than a dogmatic early wake-up. If 5 a.m. works for you, great, but it's not a requirement for success. The myth creates unnecessary guilt and pressure, leading people to adopt routines that don't fit their biology. Instead of copying someone else's morning routine, design one that fits life and energy patterns. Success is about self-awareness and optimization. If you're a night owl, don't fight yourself. Use that energy to build something amazing. There's no one-size-fits-all. A stock trader might benefit from early hours, but a musician or developer might peak late at night. The narrative ignores survivorship bias. We hear about early risers because it makes a good story, not because it's the only way. Your schedule should empower you, not drain you. The real common denominator among successful people isn't their alarm clock. It's their dedication, vision, and ability to execute. Experiment and find what works for you. Maybe you love early mornings, or maybe you find your focus at night. Both are valid. Success is about authenticity and leveraging your unique strengths, including your natural rhythms. So, let's debunk myth number 2. Successful people do all wake up early. They wake up and do what needs to be done, when it best suits them. Let's bust another lie: more hours equals more success. Hustle culture says grind 24/7, sleep when you're dead. But that's a recipe for burnout, not achievement. If success was about hours clocked, the most successful people would be the ones who never sleep. That's not sustainable or smart. Working 16-hour days in a state of exhaustion isn't success, it's just being busy. I've seen people boast about 80-hour weeks, but their output is often less impressive than someone who works a focused 40. It's not about quantity, it's about. The most successful people work the hours. They focus on high-impact tasks, the 20% that generates 80% of results. Hustle culture glorifies being a martyr to your work but neglects rest, recovery, and strategic thinking. Your brain needs downtime to be creative and solve problems. Can you really be at peak performance for 12 or 16 hours straight? No way. After a point, your abilities decline, mistakes increase, and creativity plummets. Smart work means focused bursts, followed by rest. Successful people prioritize ruthlessly, delegate, and build systems. They're not trying to do everything. They're doing the things exceptionally well. Hard work is essential, but it doesn't mean endless hours. It means focused effort and tackling challenging problems. The intensity and quality of your effort trump the sheer volume of hours. The more hours myth is damaging because it leads to neglecting health, relationships, and personal growth, all of which fuel long-term success. One smart decision or investment can yield more than thousands of hours of brute force labor. The goal isn't to be the busiest person, it's to be the most effective. Effectiveness comes from stepping back, thinking strategically, and executing with precision. Instead of cramming more hours, ask, how can I make my hours more impactful? What can I eliminate, automate, or delegate? The obsession with hours is a trap. Focus on results. Don't fall for the lie. Your time and energy are precious. Use them wisely. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is stop, rest, and come back stronger. That's how you win the long game. Let's talk about discipline. The 5 a.m. gospel often implies that true discipline means suffering. If you're not pushing through discomfort, you're not disciplined enough. That's a myth that needs busting. I see people beat themselves up for not sticking to rigid, miserable routines. They try, fail, and blame themselves. But what if the problem isn't? What if it's the true discipline isn't about masochism, it's about consistency, making choices that align with your long-term goals. The most sustainable discipline comes from building habits you can actually stick with. Ideally, ones you enjoy or at least tolerate. Forcing yourself to suffer is a short-term strategy with a high failure rate. If your discipline makes you miserable every day, you'll eventually crack. Willpower is finite. The narrative that discipline equals suffering comes from a weird misery Olympics, where the most self-inflicted hardship wins. But what are you really winning? Burnout? Resentment? That's not success. Instead, focus on sustainability. Build routines and habits you can maintain for the long haul. Find strategies that work your personality and natural rhythms. If you hate running, don't force it. Find movement you enjoy. The same goes for work habits and wake-up times. Discipline is about finding what works for and doing it consistently. It's okay to struggle. If 5 a.m. feels like torture, you're not weak, you're human. The key is to stop blaming yourself and start questioning the advice. Is this actually good for? Or is it a one-size-fits-all prescription making me miserable? True discipline is also about self-compassion. You'll have off days and that's okay. The disciplined person isn't the one who never fails. It's the one who gets back on track after setbacks. Let go of the idea that discipline has to be a painful grind. Redefine it for yourself. Discipline is about making conscious choices that serve your future self. Build systems and habits that make those choices easier. Consistency driven by commitment, not punishment. That's the kind of discipline that builds empires and lasts a lifetime. Ditch the misery Olympics and build a disciplined life you can actually live and thrive in. We've torn down the myths about early mornings, endless hours, and suffering for success. So if waking up at 5 a.m. isn't the secret, what is? Here's the million-dollar answer. Master your money. Forget optimizing your alarm clock. Optimize your financial systems. You can wake up at 4 a.m. every day, but if you don't know how to make your money work for you, you'll just be tired, not rich. Wealth is built by smart financial strategies, consistently applied over time. First, invest early and consistently. The power of compound interest is real magic. The money you invest today works for you, earning more money, which then earns even more. It's not about timing the market, it's about time the market. This habit will do more for your wealth than any alarm clock ever could. Second, build passive income streams. Decouple your time from your earnings. Passive income, rental properties, dividends, royalties, online businesses, means money flows in whether you're working or not. The more passive income you build, the less you rely on trading hours for dollars. Third, leverage your time intelligently. Focus on high-value skills, delegate low-value tasks, and build systems. Your time is your most valuable resource. Invest it in activities with the highest ROI. If you spend an hour on low-impact tasks, that's wasted. Spend it learning a high-income skill or building a passive income stream, and it could be worth thousands. Financial systems, not early wake-ups, drive real wealth. Have a budget, track expenses, set clear goals, and review your progress. Educate yourself about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. You need a plan for your money, a system that works for you 24/7, even while you're sleeping. Hard work and discipline matter, but they need to be channeled into the activities. The focus should be, how effectively can I make my money work for me? Set reminders to review investments, work on your side hustle, or read about financial strategy. These habits will change your financial future and give you freedom to design your life, including when you wake up. Financial systems work for you even when you're not. Your investments can grow while you sleep. This is the power of building assets and systems. It's more potent than squeezing more hours out of your day. So master your money. Educate yourself. Invest. Build passive income. Leverage your time. The 5 a.m. alarm, it's just a tool, often unnecessary for building lasting financial freedom. Focus on your financial engine and let that do the heavy lifting. There you have it, the 5 a.m. myth busted. Productivity isn't about the clock, success isn't an early bird club, and more hours don't mean more money. The real game changer is mastering your money, not your alarm. So will you keep chasing someone else's routine, or start designing a life where time and money work for you? Imagine a life where you're not fighting your body clock or burning out. Imagine your financial systems working for you, growing your wealth while you rest or pursue your passions. That's not a pipe dream. It's the result of smart choices and focusing on what matters. If you're ready to stop following myths and start building real wealth, check out my next video, Go Big or Go Home, for bold moves that pay off. Don't let outdated advice hold you back. Ditch the 5 a.m. guilt trip and embrace strategies that build lasting freedom. Remember, success doesn't have a wake-up call, but your financial freedom does. Will you answer?